Hashtag no music, no intro. We are back. We are doing another prospect of the week. This time we are doing Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham. If you are watching or listening to this, that means you are a Patreon or a YouTube member. So again, thank you for your support to the podcast, whether you're watching, listening to this. Also give a shout out to Wolf, turned what, 30, what, no, 40, 42, 43 yesterday? Just, I don't know, man. Just old. Just
43, bro. Just old.
just old.
Ooh-wee. Onk. Straight onk mode.
But listen, man, every year is another blessing, as definitely as we've come to find as life continues to go. Shout out to big ass sicko Dante, who's in the chat at 10 a.m.
What up?
in Texas. So yeah, the prospect that won this week was Mason Graham. I also wanted to give a shout out to our dude Jake, who was representing SBP Friday, Saturday at the combine, putting up content for us representing our podcast, our brand. It was just an opportunity. We just happened to work out that, you know, he was in Indy 2 hours away for a meet with his track team, and he was able to go cover the combine for those 2 days because I had to leave. So big shout out to Jake for the content. He was able to help us get out for the receivers, for the quarterbacks. So big shout out to Jake. It was just that's the special thing about this community, man. And you know, as much shit that some people like to talk about this community, I can't think of another community that just by being a part of this community that you might have an opportunity to go cover the combine. If there's another community that's like that, I would love someone to point it out to me. Please respond, or potentially go cover and be a part of covering the Senior Bowl. Anyway, so Mason Graham, maybe doing this prospect of the week episode, it's gonna look like we shouldn't have done it at all, because it's like, because he might just end up going top 5. And speaking to Jake's point, right, I kind of wanted to kind of use that as a little segue. He was sitting in, I think this was this yesterday? I think he was sitting in watching the drills because he had to leave before the wide receivers ran. So this might have been, Dante said, I love this quote. This might have been when the running backs are running. And that's the great thing about the combine. That's why I'm so excited for you to go next year, is people just talk, bro. Like, that's why like when people question my sources, it's like, people in the NFL love talking. It's like they are the biggest gossipers. They can't keep secrets to save their fucking lives. So like when people tell me information, it's not because like of anything other than people in the NFL they can't keep shit to themselves. They can't, bruh. They can't. So you get a whole bunch of those people in the same place, all they're gonna do is fucking talk and gossip. So he was sitting next to someone who I want to say maybe works in the Patriots. And it seems like in just terms of his conversation, just talking, just comes up naturally that there's a chance, essentially was said, that if Mason Graham gets to them when they're picking 4th, I believe. Yeah, they're picking 4th. That there's not a chance that he's going to fall past them unless, for whatever reason, Travis Hunter is still on the board at 4. Which completely makes sense. And the analogy 100%. The analogy that Jake was given was that one of Bill Belichick's first pick with the Patriots was Richard Sherman. Seymour. Sorry. Richard Seymour. Patriots pick, he drafted him, didn't have to think about it for 10 years. He set the standard, and Mason Graham would be a very similar pick, right? You draft Mason Graham, you'll not think about Mason Graham for about 10 years, right? Just easy. Completely makes sense. He makes sense from a Mike Vrabel standpoint, from a Patriots standpoint, all that.
All
Checks every fucking box. So maybe this Prospect of the Week episode is going to age like spoiled milk. But who knows what happens regarding the NFL? He was voted. Next week we're going to do Tyler Warren. We're not going to do a poll. It's just going to be Tyler Warren. But I will say, in terms of our clouds, Mason Graham. Ooh, it's interesting because we're not going to do an Abdul Carter one because I'm not wasting my time with that. It'd be. I go back and forth in terms of who I would want between Abdul and Mason Graham. Like it turns like top, like top of the board. But they're 1A and 1B to me in terms of my cloud. Like I could be depends on my mood. I could take either one.
Completely depends on my mood, man. Because literally you couldn't go wrong with either one. I think Abdul Carter might have a little more. I wouldn't call it bust factor, but
yes,
it could be kind of, like it could be a little minute. You know what I'm saying? Before you see the impact,
he could have a little more Deion Jordan potential to him. Like Mason Graham, like his floor, like what his floor is.
I feel that's very comfortable with Mason Graham, like just the way he plays. Yeah. Like there's no tricks to it. You know what I'm saying? There's no schemey. We got to line them up this way. It's none of that. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get to that.
But when I've said it, I don't think in my draft Nick career I've changed as quick as I have as a player as I did with Mason Graham. Literally, like in the Discord, it went from literally was on a player of my do not want list to
the first player. You're like, I haven't looked at this draft at all. But the one player I don't want, Mason Graham.
Which is fun, which is hilarious of how just people can change their minds, right? Just it happens. It happens.
Are you serious? People could do that? People could change their mind?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Man, I don't think so, bro.
Whoa. But I dug him. I dug into him some more, and I was just like, oh, and the player, like, he just to me. I don't want to label him in the term of like a Chris Jones or a Jeffrey Simmons because I feel like those players were just more explosive. But like his archetype and his prototype of how he wins, he's that type of player. Like I'll give you a comp. He is take the one season he had with the Saints before his health injuries. He's a white Nick Fairley.
I could see that. What was his measurables that came up out the combine?
Oh, let's see if I can.
I'm sorry, I couldn't put together like a little stat sheet.
Oh,
because I'm out in New Orleans.
It's Mardi Gras, bro. It's fine. Let's see if I can pull him up. Because he's not gonna work out.
Yeah, I know he's not working out.
Let's see. I was able to get a question in.
How he look like? How he look like as far as makeup, like just just that body,
It's funny because I felt like he wasn't as big as I expected. So he's 6'3" and a half, 296 pounds. Arm length, 32 inches. His hand size, don't really care about that. And then he did do bench press. He put up 24 reps on the bench press. It's just strong, stout. Like it's funny because he's not from the country. He's Mission Viejo, California, which is like San Diego. Very
really.
Oh.
1 second. Hold up. Hold on 1 second. All right, go ahead.
thought the cops was coming.
So, knocking like the police.
But he plays country strong.
Yeah,
He plays
exactly.
country strong.
That's the first thought that come to mind when you watch him. It's like, man, this boy just country strong.
Mm-hmm.
Get double team. You see him beating double teams, and he just so stout and so powerful, bro. Man.
And I just feel like the reason I wanted to do this one, and it's funny because he won the poll, is, we were on that conference call. Me, you, and Dante were on that conference call, listening to Dale and Jeremiah talking about how teams may potentially overthink Mason Graham, and
right.
I could 100% understand. Oh, I didn't post it. Understand why they would, because I was kind of doing like a thought exercise and going through all how teams really have overthought elite defensive tackles historically in the draft. Like, there's been so many that have fallen and gone later at the bottom of, top 10, 11, 12. I actually asked it to Mike McDonald as a question, and he I think he was very annoyed with me, very annoyed with me. But in my head, I'm like, bro, you literally as a head coach just benefited last year for me. Like, you drafted Byron Murphy because he dropped to 16. Like, it's a thing. Like, Ed Oliver dropped to 9 when he got drafted. Like, it happens, right? And Ed Oliver, it's funny because the point Darren Jeremiah was making about Mason Graham is that he's not going to look like an Olympian. He's not going to look like an athletic freak at the combine compared to his peers, right? Which makes sense. But even thinking to Ed Oliver looks like an athletic freak. He looks the part, and he still dropped to 9. So it was like, damn, could NFL teams really be that dumb? And then you start thinking, it was like, I could kind of see it, because how the NFL, you could see it. So for the Saints' purposes, and we know this, that Mason Graham is 100% in their cloud of players, top 4 players that they would run to the podium to draft. Now, maybe that cloud changes, but what we know, he's in that cloud, right?
Yeah.
The teams that he would have to get past, I think, are the most that would take him would be the Patriots and the Jags. If somehow he got past 4 and somehow he got past 5, then the conversation becomes, are you willing to trade potentially to go and get him?
Right. That's going to be the question. Because if he gets past the Patriots, say Travis Hunter is there. So right. They take Travis Hunter. Mm-hmm. Jaguars, I mean, he's been mocked to the Jaguars for months. Like, it just makes sense. But they got a new GM, a new young GM that's 32 years old. No idea what they're going to do. We have no idea how they can move. No clue. We couldn't assume, but they could just go completely left field. Who knows?
Wouldn't it be crazy? I don't see them doing this, but just completely wild. What if the Jag did something completely insane, just went Genty at 5, bruh?
Right. That's what I'm saying. What if they just go something we just ain't even contemplating? Genty at 5, or maybe, I don't know, some wide receiver we're not even thinking about that would go that early, that would just
like Golden.
Golden is the speed guy, it's just something crazy. We don't know. So say just something crazy happens and he gets past the Jags. Then who's next after the Jags?
It would be the Jets. No, not the Jets.
The Raiders.
The Raiders is at 7. It would be the Jets. The Jets are at 6.
Jets at 6.
No, Jets are at 7, and then it'd be the Raiders, the Jets, and then the Panthers.
So Raiders, I don't know why I just don't see Mason Graham going there.
I don't either.
I just don't see it.
It just doesn't strike me as a Pete Carroll thing.
No. Then you got the Jets. That would be kind of an obvious, Aaron Glenn defense. Makes sense, but
my question with the Jets would be how he I'm not saying he would be redundant next to Quinn Williams, but I don't know
But it's
how
like, yeah,
schematically it like him like Mason Graham next to Brian Bresee makes a lot of sense. I don't know how much sense him next to Quentin Williams makes. I don't know if that makes any sense.
no, it makes
Maybe
a plenty of sense. And it's like, I don't know, like I just would feel like the Jets would probably have somebody else
I
marked.
feel I feel like they just wants that like that Jalen Walker. Like they want
Right.
that juice that like
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
as much as we like Mason Graham, like he's not that. He's not that.
No. No. And so, then it's like, do you call the Jets? You know what I'm saying? Do you call the Jets and be like, okay, how much would it be much to move from 9? Because, I mean, I think the Panthers, the Panthers need everything on defense.
Everything.
I don't
Everything.
think they pass up on the Mason Graham. I
I
don't
don't
know. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't think they would.
And at what? Let's see. 9 to 7 would be what? That shouldn't be more than like what a fourth? Not
That
even
shouldn't be
like
much at all, bro.
at all.
Maybe a third. Maybe your second, third pick.
A second,
I
third.
would hate to give it up. I would hate to give it up, bro.
Ooh, bruh. But for Mason Graham,
Because you got to think there would probably be other teams trying to move up too. So
oh now here's now this is like that team building GM
Mhm.
shit. And we know how it turned when it comes to Blinken because the Commanders just gave Niners the 5th round pick that they got in the Marshawn trade that Mickey threw the extra that Mickey loves to throw in. That's how
For real?
they got. Oh, you didn't read that? Yeah, bro. The Debo trade that's the Saints 5th that
Oh,
we
the
gave.
Debo got traded.
Oh, this nigga was so
Oh,
gone yesterday.
I've
Yes,
been completely out of it, bro.
yeah.
So
Debo got
Debo
traded
went to the Commanders. Damn.
for a 5th that we gave them in the
That we
Marshawn
gave
trade.
Oh, I wish I would have been on the Discord for that one, bro.
The Mickey sweetener, bruh.
The biggest sweet, the special, bro.
So then the Commanders took that 5th and traded it to the Niners and got Debo.
That's hilarious.
Anyway,
Oh,
anyhow, anyhow, that's a GM fucking decision of is Mason Graham because that's a GM decision and that's a scout decision. Is Mason Graham worth giving up that second, third that you got from the Commanders? It's a low third, and in this draft, like those are those extra picks are the picks you want to keep in this
Yeah.
draft.
in this draft.
That's a running back. That's a tight end.
Yeah, exactly.
That's somebody.
I'm still trying to get more. Shit.
But if you could give up that third, not 71, the bottom. If you could give up that second, third at the bottom of the third round, and if that could solidify you getting Mason Graham, is that worth it?
It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. Because
I
you think
say-
about it, it's just a third. But then
I
you think
say-
about the cost opportunity. Like damn, that could be blue. Blue out of
Texas.
out of Texas. That could be my dude RJ Harvey. That could be, man.
But how high is the grade on Mason Graham is what it kind of comes back to, right? Like
Exactly.
for me, he's either the best player in the draft or like the second best player in the draft. So is that worth giving up a pick in the 90s to go secure? Like I would try to get I would try to give up a pick next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say, can you take a 2026 third?
Right.
Could that do it?
That's what I would try to do.
I'm trying to
Either-
keep every
yeah.
pick. Yeah, I'm trying to keep every pick this year. I give it 2026. Would you? I know it's a high one. Would you? Like this is why I love like the team like on the field shit. Like yeah, what up? Like the team building shit. Like that gets my juices going. Would you give up a 2026 second though to move up two
Ooh, I don't
spots?
think so. For this team, the Saints, that could be a high second, bro. That could be like pick 30 38. You know what I'm saying? 30. Yeah.
It's Mason Graham. It's Mason Graham. Because then because then the other part you look at is then you're gonna be looking at because I guess the other part of it is you're gonna be looking at like the team he's gonna be going to potentially would be your division rival.
Panthers.
Like
Ooh,
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
the hurting part. That's the hurt part. Like, oh Jesus, like we're gonna be going up again for 10 years. Just basically.
And you know what's gonna happen, bro. Mason Graham gonna be circling Cesar Ruiz, 51, bro. Two games every season. We know what the matchup gonna look like, Ryan. Like
every time.
I'm just,
But I like the idea of giving up a future third, like a 2026 third, to move up from 9 to 7. I think that'll do it, bro. I really think that'll do it. Like I think that'll.
it's two spots, and it's this is viewed as a quote unquote low weak draft class. I think that should do it. I really think it should if it came down to that. Okay, let's actually talk about Mason Graham as a player. I know, right? We could just doing all the hypotheticals right now. What are the things you liked about him when you watch him and put on his tape?
Man, it's like you rarely like I put on like just the Michigan defense, and you just rarely see 55 moving backwards.
Rarely,
like it's either he's moving forward or he's like plastered, not letting anybody move behind him. You know what I'm saying? Just stout, bro.
Stout. He's the disruptor.
Disruptor. Like he's just. Everything is just action. Like he's always in the mix, just causing action. Even if the play is like happening away from him, somehow he finds his way over there. Like he'll be over here.
Yes.
Like maybe they'll send him on a stunt this way, and somebody's coming in on like an X this way, and he's way over here. But somehow he'll find his way back over there, disrupting the pass, attacking the quarterback or something. Like he's like low key kind of quick, bro. Like laterally quick and stuff like that.
Yes, he is.
Like you would think he'd be that quick, but then it's like, oh, like he moving now. He moving.
The Saints' run defense has progressively gotten atrocious.
Whew.
Season after season after season after season. I'm not saying that it would be just on him. Like I'm not saying he would just be expected to fix it by himself. But if the Saints were able to get him, he would go a large way in regards to trying to fix their run defense that has been an issue for them these last 2 to 3 seasons of how it's regressed mightily over these last years. And I think to some degree, not 100%, he allows Bryan Bresee to become Kenneth Grant. Where we know Bryan Bresee, his biggest weakness is like his in the run game. It's something he has to get better at. He's not been good at it. It has to be an improvement for him. But if Mason Graham comes in and is good and stout in the run defense like he was at Michigan, then to some degree, maybe Brandon Staley could just be like, Bryan Bresee, what I need you to do, play the run fits, but what I really want you to do, your primary job, just go attack and get the quarterback. Just go get the quarterback. Just go get him.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
One other point. We know we talked about Tet and how if the Saints drafted him, it kind of allows the rest of the receivers in the wide receiver room to kind of have this hierarchy to some degree in terms of everyone kind of has a role, at least from like a size standpoint. I feel like Mason Graham would bring that to the defensive line, right?
Right.
Him being drafted, he becomes the cog in the middle, and then you have Bryan Bresee, who doesn't have to be like a DT1. He could be DT2. Let's say they bring Chase Young back, at like something that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Then you have him. You have Big Creep. You have, if Cam's still on the team, you have him playing, reduced snaps. Everyone's role on the defensive line is more refined of what it should be.
Right. Then like you got like a young guy like Christian Boyd, who we didn't see much of any last year, but for all kind of other reasons. But just think of a big plugger like him next to somebody stout and with the pass rush ability of Mason Graham. Like, ooh, like you could feed kids with that, bro. Like with that D line, now you working with a little rotation. Yes, you probably still need to attack and get like a real speed edge at some point. Somebody like that. But you building like the meat of your defensive line once you add that piece. So, like you said, like you add that Mason Graham, is like all the chips that start kind of falling into place, and you building towards something. You ain't there yet, but you building towards it. You know what I'm saying?
I think in terms of his his negative, his cons, he's not gonna. And Daniel Jeremiah, I talked about this. I don't think he's not gonna test amazingly athletically. He's just not. Not to say that he's not a good athlete, because I think he's gonna test fine as an athlete, but he's not gonna test like a Shamar Stewart. He's not gonna test like that. That's not who he is.
He's not gonna look like that freak. Freak, like what is this body? Like, no, he's just like a good football player. I don't know. It's just,
but also
like Shamar Stewart at football.
Shamar Stewart tested amazingly and had like 1.5 sacks last year. Like, so, but like I could put the Mason Graham tape on. I watched him a second time flying back from Indy, and I watched him, and I was just like, God damn! Like, he's a stellar fucking football player. Stellar. Like, just a note, like, you just run to the podium, no brainer, and he just, and when did we talk? So that was that? So I asked Mason Graham, had he met with the Saints yet? He said no, he hadn't, but he was scheduled to meet with them Wednesday night. So we know that he talked to the Saints on Wednesday night. And we know that he's in their cloud. Dante said, how would you feel about the D-line if they take Graham at 9 and bring back Chase Young back on a 1-year deal? Man, if they bring Chase Young back, it's not going to be a 1-year deal, though. Like, I know he's, like, it's going to be some type of multi-year
You're getting paid.
contract. You get paid. And what I heard is that they want to, what I heard during the combine from my friend is that they want to do a deal. They want to do deals with Chase Young and Juwan Johnson, and then an article, the ESPN article from Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano. Graziano? How you pronounce that?
I think
came out today. That also said they potentially want to also bring back Paulson Adebo. It feels a little funny to some degree, because it feels like they want to bring back most of the roster and just change like the coaching staff. Just
run it back.
Just run it back. Just change the coaching.
It goes to what I mean, this is a prospect preview, but it goes to what we've been saying about Loomis, bro. Loomis thought everything about last year was fine. They just had bad luck with injuries.
That's it.
If it was up to him, it would still be DA. It wasn't even a coaching problem, bro.
Bruh. I lost my train of thought. But what I was so regarding like the Chase Young thing is that they wanted to bring him back at like a deal that made sense for like the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also I know that Chase Young, if you listen to it, like his age, regardless of his production, his age makes him so enticing.
Yep.
For teams who need a pass rusher. He's 25.
Yep. 25. And he just hits all those little, he's like a Derek Carr. He's like the Derek Carr pass rushers, bro. Like you find all the little advanced stats, you'd be
Yep.
like, "Ooh, he got he's top 10 in pressures and blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah." So
He
you could
looks the
look at that
part.
and convince and he looks the part, no question about it. He's a went number 2 overall a couple years ago, so it's like you could have convinced yourself easily that he's right about to turn the corner and become like a 17 sack guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or at worst, he's gonna be like a 9 to 10 sack guy and still be solid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I get the
So
gamble, but for him, he got to cash out. He's ready to cash in. Like he just got a big neck
yes,
surgery last year. He trying to make some money. He's trying to get some
money.
guaranteed money and some long term security for him.
Yeah. So he ain't about to take no 1 year
No.
deal. No, no. And I know the Saints want to bring him back, but there's teams out there that got a lot of cap space, and if he gets
Oh yeah.
a deal or an offer on the table, like a team that
Oh yeah.
it's funny. It's funny. I don't know if it would happen, but he essentially kind of won on the final drive for the Falcons. He essentially won the game for the Saints because he kind of went nuclear.
That's been my connection for
Has it?
weeks. Like he's going to be a Falcon. Like
It
it just
makes
makes sense.
so
And you know
so
how
much.
Terry is too. You know how Terry is. Terry be like, man, you saw what he did to us. Let's go get
Yeah,
him.
that's the Sean Payton in him, bro. Because Sean Payton used to do that
Yep.
shit all the time.
All the time. All the time. And to be able to like hurt the Saints at the same time. Shit, come on.
Yeah. Which is funny because like I don't like I'm completely fine with Chase leaving, but
Oh yeah.
it would create a big asshole just from a depth standpoint. Because Payton Turner is a free agent.
He sure is,
Uh,
isn't he? I forgot,
he absolutely
I forgot he was a
is.
free agent, bro.
So
You
then,
get no buzz?
then your defensive line literally is Cam Jordan, Big Creep, and whoever the TikTok star Isaiah Foskey, bro. That's your defensive line.
Who? That's it. That's it.
That's
So
it.
like, just from like, we need to fill the team. They need to get
Yes.
some guys, like just to be able to fill the team on the field. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, that's a lot of work. They need to. I mean, they need to go to old Peyton Turner and be like, say, bro, take these little 4 million 1 year, 4 million with incentives. Gonna take that shit.
Let's. I know you gotta still recoup for more festivities later, but one closing out this Mason Graham episode. Any lasting thoughts? One. Oh, I gotta ask you all these questions. One, does he have juice?
It's a good question because he does, but then he doesn't. You know what I mean? And by he doesn't, by doesn't I mean like
He does. He
he's
doesn't
not
have
he's
juice like Jalen Walker.
right.
Like
He's
from
not that. You don't feel like he's like this freak, like. But at the same time, he does because like he's good. He's just good, bro. Like he's good. He's gonna add juice to your defense. He's gonna. But he's so good at even all the small things too. Like not just the splashy stuff, but like
oh
just
yes,
the small stuff that really makes a defense good. That really don't end
and
up
and
on the stat sheet.
and wins football games, bruh.
Like he's so smart, bro. Like such a smart football player. Just the way he plays. But yeah, he's juicy, bro. Just come on, man. Like come on.
Do you have to squint when you watch him?
No, no,
No.
no. He's not like Sheldon Rankins.
Nope.
Where you had to
Nope.
man. If you watch him on third down when he's lined up here, and blah, blah, you can see
No.
it, bro. Nah,
No. 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 No.
Like, even when he's lined up at defensive end, like he's disrupted.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
In terms of our cloud, we don't have them. We don't have them up. Well, I could share the cloud. I don't have. I could share the cloud. Let me load it real quick. I'm just gonna ask you where where would he be on your cloud?
I mean, look, he would have to be at the top.
Yep, he'd be
I'd take him over every single one of those guys. Like
same. Same.
Like he's just, but I feel like he's almost like an Ashton Dutty of the defensive line. Like I just feel that good about him. Like you know what I'm saying? Like gimme, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
gimme and don't think about it.
Yeah. Same. He would be the top of mind easily. It's not. I won't say it's funny, man. I'll just say coming out of Indy, some things I've heard on Will Johnson and Tet. Not so much the things I've heard on Tet. I think him not working out, him not running, and then how many of the receivers ran well, worked out well.
Man. Like I know, like Drake London, he didn't. I know he didn't run at the combine, but did he run at his pro day?
No,
because
he didn't run because he was it.
He was injured.
Drake London, he was injured, but then I really feel like his agent played it perfectly, and he just like
exactly.
He's not gonna run at his pro day at all because he's still injured.
But Ted not injured. That's interesting, bro. That's very interesting to me.
And this is why it's interesting to me, Ryan. We met with Jaden Higgins at Senior Bowl. Got an interview with him. Patreon.com. Is that a house phone? Were we on Star Trek?
You know I'm at grandma's house. You a house phone. This to prove I'm at grandma's house.
Oh,
right here.
I already know her. Ooh, the soft ones.
Soft ones too?
Yeah. For our audio listeners, it was the peppermints, but it was the soft ones.
Yep.
Jaden Higgins, I watched his tape. I wasn't enamored with it, but he goes out there yesterday. Jaden Higgins was 6'4", 6'5"?
Mm-hmm. Damn near 6'5".
He ran a 4.47.
Yeah.
At his
At
size.
that size. Damn, bro.
I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be.
But that right there is why. That right there is why Ted didn't run.
Oh, I'm well aware. I am well aware.
He like, man, they gonna have these dudes out like dudes like Jaden looking better than me. Oh hell no!
Because Jaden is like the same size as him, and he ran a 4.47. I said this I tweeted it, and people came at my neck. Will Johnson and Tet are gonna be there at 9. They're gonna be there at 9, bro.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be interesting to see if the Saints' perception and scouting of them changes over the months. Because true scouting, you don't let the outside noise or whatever affect it. You go by what you've seen on tape and film study. Now, if you get to know that player more and you find out some shit, you like, ooh, no. That's different.
Yeah.
And that's fine if you feel like, no, we like this player at this point. This player wasn't our clout for whatever reason, but then we got to know this player more, and we don't want this to be, what is it? Was it Isaiah Simmons? I can't think of that fucking player that the Titans drafted in the first round, then he was out of the league.
No,
not Simmons.
About his name.
It was Isaiah something, or whatever. I can't think of his name. You don't want it to be a situation like that, right?
Right.
But if you like the play, if you love the player and that player's in your cloud, like, I'm just going to be fascinated to see, do they stay steadfast of their thoughts of the cloud of Tet, Johnson, Carter, Graham, or does something change? Because we're in March. The draft is a month and a half away. And so it's gonna go fast. Like, the whole process is gonna go it's already going fast. The combine's over. We got free agency in 2 weeks, and then the draft will be here before we know it. We'll be in New Orleans to celebrate it. Blah blah. Do our party. Make sure you RSVP if you haven't already. But it's gonna be fascinating because then the question becomes a lot of like Tet's momentum. He doesn't have any right now.
No.
If he's there at 9, do they still draft him? Like, does your like if your scouting of him is what it was, like if you liked him before all this process started, like technically you should still like him, right? So technically you would feel like you would just still take him at 9, right? Right?
You would think.
You think, right? Like this is what makes the draft and like team building so exciting to me.
Oh yeah. Nah, when the rubber meets the road, that's when you really find out. You know.
When is Arizona's pro day? That's what I want to know, nigga. Like, is he going to magically get a hamstring injury before Arizona's pro day, bro?
Like this is your pro day, bro.
2025. I want to know when his pro day is.
Cause I don't think there's a ton of talent coming out of Arizona. Like, bro.
So so Big 12 pro day. So it doesn't say, but Arizona's pro day. So the Big 12 pro days are going to be between the 18th and the 21st. The exact dates are not known yet. Depending on when it is, I don't know how I could go about it, bruh. I might try to get credentials to go to Arizona's pro day if I can, bruh, nigga. That's a little a flight, bro. I want to see him run in person, Ryan.
Time it yourself. Get the real time, not the age of time.
But it's just the whole process is fascinating to see what happens.
Fascinating as hell, man.
We'll see, bro. Love draft season. We'll see how things play out. So we still don't have any. I know everyone's talking. Derek Carr's going to be back, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see a restricted contract.
Structure, nothing. It's March 2nd. When free agency start?
March 12th.
Okay.
And then his guarantee for the guarantees is coming up. I don't. Okay. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Our next episode we'll be recording will be on Thursday with our dude Coach Cody Alexander. He's gonna be he's gonna take us to football school, talking about Kellen Moore's offense, talking about Brandon Staley's defense. There's gonna be clips. Cannot wait. That is gonna be 1 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Central time. Make sure you're there. That is, I will say, that is one that you for sure are going to try to want to watch the video episode for, to watch the occupying clips that come with it. It's going to be hard to kind of see it, or just listening to it. But thank y'all for supporting everything. Thank y'all for everything as always. We'll be back. Also, you have a chance to catch me on WWL with draft legend Mike Tiller at 4:35 tomorrow Central Time PM. I got to put it in my calendar because I always have to like do the time thing so I don't mess up. Talking combine. Mike reached out yesterday, so that'll be a big opportunity for our show. But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Again, all this doesn't happen without y'all. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Straight up. Straight up.
I have a retro T-shirt on. A throwback. So we appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We will be back on Thursday talking football junkie, like addict shit. But with that, we are out.
Peace.